Chungha once used to be one of the biggest soloists in the industry, but now it seems like she's disappeared. From no new albums and troubles with her company to a particularly hard period in life, let's talk about the wasted potential of Chungha, who could have been one of the most successful artists of this generation. Her career began in the survival show Produce 101, which she finished in 4th place and ended up debuting in IOI. Being one of the most successful members of the group while it was still active, her popularity followed her even after the group disbanded. Her solo debut album Hands on Me ranked at number 8 on the Gaon album chart, which was pretty impressive for an idol from a small company. Chungha's second mini album Offset came out in January 2018 and received even more praise. It reached number 3 on the Gaon album chart and marked Chungha's debut in the US World Albums chart at number 13. Mind you, she did all this with her first comeback. Roller Coaster, the album's title track, was one of the biggest hits that year, and Chungha was seemingly everywhere. She had numerous appearances in variety shows, an SM station collab with Red Velvet Sulgi, Idol Soyeon, and G-Friend Shinbi, and had her own collabs with VIX's Ravi and Super Junior's Yesong. Even if you weren't interested in her, it was impossible to escape her as her songs and even fan cams were everywhere. Her next hit song came in January 2019 when Chungha released Gotta Go. She just couldn't stop making bangers. It earned her first ever win on Show Champion, and it gained her a lot of popularity as it showcased a more confident image for Chungha, different from her previous style. This also marked a significant shift in her career, as Gotta Go ranked at number 3 on Billboard's The 25 Best K-Pop Songs of 2019. At this point, Chungha's popularity was at its peak, and her company was very well aware of that as they tried to promote her in all places. In late 2019, she hinted at entering the US market by teaming up with Rich Brian for a song on the Head in the Clouds 2 album. Additionally, she wrote music for well-known dramas like Hotel de Luna and Dr. Romantic 2. In April, she dropped Stay Tonight, a preview single for her first full album Cadencia, which built a lot of hype for it. Everyone was waiting to see just how much Chungha had to offer with an actual album, considering how well her singles had done. Then the hype managed to fade away. With her then pre-release song being scheduled to come out in December 2020 and her album set to drop in January 2021, both releases were delayed. Though it was no fault of Chungha, as she was diagnosed with COVID-19 at the time and couldn't promote due to her condition. But once the album was delayed, it was as though the company just gave up on her. At first, they dropped 3 main pre-releases and other songs before the album dropped. Waiting so long between the first pre-release and the actual release of the album really made the excitement of casual listeners and even fans sizzle out. Then, when the album dropped, Bicycle sounded different from regular K-pop and more like an American pop song with a darker vibe. Chungha herself revealed that she wanted to do something similar to Bicycle, which means that the people who didn't like the release couldn't blame the company for it, but after waiting a year for the project, to them, it was just a bit disappointing. But if we can't blame the company for Bicycle, we can blame them for other things. While M&H Entertainment used to be one of the best companies after IOI disbanded, COVID really did a number on them as, in general, it caused some really big problems for small companies. To start with, they didn't really have the experience or the skills to manage artists. Sure, they hit the jackpot with Chungha, but she was already popular due to IOI, and all M&H had to do was promote her in the right way. Initially, they managed well, but once she gained popularity, they pushed themselves too far and made some decisions they couldn't afford to make. They attempted to do too much by launching another group, which was Bandit, relocating to a new building, investing heavily in Chungha's debut album, and starting their new wave project just as the pandemic began. This meant that they were out of resources and couldn't promote their artists as much as they should have. Chungha and then Bandit went from being promoted everywhere to being locked in the basement and were basically neglected by industry standards. So M&H were in big financial trouble, so the smart thing to do would be to promote their artists, right? Especially Chungha, who was the only one to bring actual money into the company. Well, this wasn't quite a solution according to M&H. Her singles and releases stopped getting promoted, and the company basically acted like the songs would be successful on their own. So all that hype and the expensive rollout for her album was for nothing. In addition to that, they signed other soloists and even debuted another boy group named 8 Turn and tried pushing them instead. In 2022, Chungha released Bare and Rare Part 1, and then things went completely downhill. Only a month after the album was released, Chungha started voicing her dissatisfaction with her company. In August of last year, Chungha had logged into VLive to chat with fans. At some point, she brought up her 2-part album Bare and Rare and mentioned just how frustrated she was was about the delays in releasing the second part. She explained that the company's condition was the cause and expressed disappointment because it prevented her from performing the songs that she wanted. The most notable part of the live stream was when a fan expressed just how much they wanted to see Chungha go on a world tour. Chungha also shared that she wanted to do a world tour someday, asking her company why it hadn't happened yet out loud. Another fan asked if she intended to depart from the company, with Chungha replying, "I want to leave. Please let me go." She took her words back, but it didn't mean that fans weren't concerned. One fan in particular went on to share the severity of the situation online, making a post about how the live stream was removed from the VLive site, sharing just how bizarre it was to the fandom that MNH wasn't posting Chungha's selfies despite her sending them to the company. So when Chungha had asked for an explanation, the agency claimed that they had no idea why the photos weren't up, as if this wasn't up to their management team who had control over her social media accounts. The fan also pointed out several mistakes the agency made, like typos and posting the same teaser photos on Instagram and Twitter. Moreover, the agency failed to promote the teasers properly, so few people knew that Chungha had even pre-released songs prior to her album. This made it more than obvious that despite her undeniable popularity, MNH had done her dirty in so many ways, to the point of her getting on livestream and discussing everything so publicly. Thankfully, Chungha ended up departing from the company. She left MNH Entertainment in March of 2023 and joined J-Puck's agency More Vision in October. In fact, J-Puck seemed to have really helped her get through a hard time. When the two appeared on Omniscient Interfering View, J-Puck expressed admiration for Chungha, saying that he was pleasantly surprised at how passionate and enthusiastic she was when performing in front of the camera. He went on to say that he sent her an offer after seeing just how good of a performer she is. Chungha then confessed that J-Puck was the reason that she continued being an idol and didn't go study abroad, saying, "You've been giving me advice since a year ago. You listened to my concerns and kept in touch with me. He's the CEO who contacted me the most." She had spoken up about wanting to give up on the industry altogether at some point, but it was generally nice to hear that someone had valued her so much that it persuaded her to continue being an idol. However, MNH didn't let her go without a fight. They brought her to a point where she begged to leave because of how much they were mistreating her and not letting her release music. The agency chose to be cruel until the last moment. Turns out that Chungha no longer has any control of her social media accounts and even her fan club name. On November 20th, she shared plans for a fresh start with her fans and asked for ideas for a new fandom name. Fans were shocked after this announcement, pointing out that because MNH didn't let her have any of her accounts, Chungha had to open a new Instagram and Twitter account as well as a new YouTube channel because the company chose to be petty and withhold everything. While this isn't the first time that a company has done something like this, MNH's move is pretty excessive and unfair to Chungha, especially considering that her success built the company from the ground up. But this doesn't matter in the end. What matters is that Chungha is out of the company and has joined one that genuinely values her as an artist. Although MNH owns everything from her past, we can hope that this just means that Chungha gets to have a fresh start. We've been waiting for this moment for so long, and we can't wait to see her in the future. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!